Hey guys, welcome back. Now let's build our first application. We'll close all the tabs, and then we'll head back to our main activity, which is present inside the package folder and here, main activity. Now, inside the main activity, I want to see the preview first. What do we have? Let's build and refresh and find out. So we will be having, based on the code, we will be having a hello world, hello Android world in the preview. So first thing first, let's understand the code. So we have main activity, which is the entry point of your application activity screen. Activity is the screen and this is the entry point. And inside this we have onCreate, which is the entry point of your activity. Your activity is being created. We have edge to edge enable, which will create a safe space between the navigation bar and camera notch. And then we have set content. The set content method, whatever code you will write inside the set content, it will start drawing that. Now, what do we want? We want to see how to write our own functions. So we have a grading function here inside a scaffold function. We have a theme and we have a composable functions and this preview function. Because of this preview, we are able to see it. If I remove this preview function, we won't be able to see our preview. No preview found. There is no preview function exist. So we'll remove this as well. A composable function, which we are going to use to create multiple screens, and we can call it everywhere once it is created. So this component, UI component, is reusable. We have a scaffold. Scaffold is actually a container that contains your top bar, app bar, top bar, bottom bar, snack bar host, floating action button, and sidebar. And in the middle, we have a content. Okay, the container. Now, we want to remove this scaffold as well because we want to remove the complexity. So let's create our calculator screen. So I'll just say, I'll come outside the main activity. So this is my main activity. I'll come outside and type comp. Comp will create a composable function, so I don't have to remember the declaration part. And now I can simply just write the composable name. So calculator screen. Okay, and that's it. We'll again create our preview composable functions as preview, enter, and definition is created for you. You just have to give it a name. I'll say calculator screen, and in the suffix I will simply add preview. We should have two different names, otherwise it will start calling the same function recursively. And now I will simply call my theme, which is my calculator theme, the name of the application, and inside this theme I will simply call my calculator screen, and the preview error will go, and that's it. Now inside the calculator screen, I need to create my UI, how my UI should look. So first thing first, I need to have a edit text where you can ask user to enter number 1 and then number 2, and then we will provide some buttons like plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So we'll create 4 different buttons. So first thing first, I need to create a column, which is a container. So I'll just say column and I'll wait for the design suggestion to come up and I'll hit enter. Now inside this column, I need to create my UI component. So first thing first, I'll create outline text field. Hit outline text field. Hit enter. And now inside this outline text field, we need to pass 2 mandatory parameters. It contains all these parameters, as you can see. So if I press command and click or control or click, you can view this function definition. So this is the function and you can pass all these parameters. And this is the default values we are already passing. So it is not mandatory for you to pass, but if you want to use it, customize it, you can pass and customize it. But there are 2 mandatory parameters, which is value and on value change. Now, before we add any value, we need to create a state variable. What is a state variable? A state variable is a variable where any change in the variable, it will automatically update the UI, just like a dynamic screen or dynamic web app. So if you have a code in HTML and it is static in nature, it will never update itself. So when I change the data from the backend, it should automatically refresh the UI without me refreshing the page. So something similar, the state variable works. It will maintain the state. So I will declare it by var. And now I need to provide a name of the variable. So I'll say number 1, what user will enter. And I want a delegator by. This is a kind of initialization. I'll explain what by does. And then remember, so this is how we declare. Remember this one. Inside this remember, I need to pass mutable state of empty. Now it is asking me to import. I'll just press Alt Enter to import. First time and second time import set value. Getter and setter is imported. The error is gone. I'll just minimize the design mode, and now in the code mode I can see I have successfully declared a variable number 1, and I'll simply pass this number 1. So whatever user will enter, it should go inside the number 1. Now as user is typing the keyword, I need to append every character. So I'll say on value change is a function of pass. Number 1 should be equal to what each character user is typing. So whatever user is typing, each character should be assigned inside the number 1, and OutlinedTextField should display number 1. Now how this state variable is declared. So number 1 by remember and mutableStateOf. MutableStateOf is actually a container or a wrapper class that actually notifies whenever there is a change in the data. So by default we are initializing it with empty. And what will happen if the notification is done? If number 1 is changed in the future, what will happen? So the composable function will recompose itself. It will call itself again. So what will happen? The number 1 is again reinitialized and will go back to empty. We don't want that. So if I change the value number 1 to 10, it should stay 10. So that's why the remember block will remember the value of the mutable state. And when there is a change of the mutable state, the calculator function will be called again to refresh the UI, and it will refresh the UI every time we type each character. So as you can see in the preview section, now in this preview section, I'll just resize it and I'll start interactive mode, and now I can actually enter some data. So F, fill H, I, and every time I'm typing the key, it is refreshing the composable function. The composable function, what it does, it is just displaying a text field. Hope you guys understand why remember is useful, what is mutable state, but we have not seen what by does. By is actually assigning the value directly to the number. So if it is double quote empty, which means the data type of the number should be string. If it is 0, then the value is 0. That means the data type of the number is integer. As you can see here, number 1 int. Now if I change this to double quote empty, the data type of the number is going to be string. By actually deals with the wrapper class. If you use equal to, now we are dealing with the mutable state of. So number 1 ka data type will be mutable state of string. And we don't want to clutter our UI, otherwise we have to use dot value everywhere, which doesn't make sense. So 90% of the time you will be using pi, and only 10% of the times where your state variable state will be recomposed by some other function. So if the number 1 value can be changed by some other function, for example a dialog where you are going to enter something, and based on that entry you want to update the UI, then you will pass the mutable state directly there. So for now this is fine, and inside the column I'm going to create my another outline text field. So I'll just say Control D and Control D for number 2. I'll just change this to number 2, and I'll just change this to number 2 again. Number 2 and number 2 is equals to it, and that's it. Now we have to edit text or 2 text field, right? Now I need a plus button, let's say. So I'll just create a button. I'll pass onClick method. Right now what should happen? We'll define inside this block, and inside this block I'll simply text I'll simply give it a name, text, let's say plus. So what should happen when the plus button is clicked? When the plus button is clicked, I want to do the addition of these two numbers, number 1 and number 2. And where I should display it? Let's display it outside the button. So create another text, and inside the text we want to display a result, but we don't have anything to how to update the UI when the button is clicked. I'll just create another state variable which is going to be result of data type string. Right now the result should be equal to number 1, which is of type string again, so I need to convert it to int first or to double, then plus number 2 dot to int. Now number 1 and it should be to double. Like if user will pass decimal value, we should be able to handle it. Number 1 plus number 2. Now we see the error because this is double and we are assigning double to a string. What to do? Press Alt Enter and we have a toString call. I'll just add toString, wrap this inside the toString method, and the result value is set. When the button is clicked, we want to set the result value. Number 1 we convert it to double, number 2 we convert it to double, and the whole after the addition, the whole thing will be converted to string and set back to this result. Now we'll simply display result here. And now if we open this in interactive mode, right now we are in interactive mode. Now, whatever I enter, so for example, if I enter 5 and 4 plus 9 pointer, and that's it. Now if you want to create multiple buttons, I'll just simply copy paste, or I can simply just create a button. For practice, I would recommend you to do it this way, on click. Now you cannot just simply start writing the code here. You have to create a block of code, and inside this you will write your logic. And what should be the name of the button? So this name of the button will pass here something like this, double quote and a hyphen. So this is the subtraction. So now again same thing inside this. When the button is clicked, result value should be changed to number 1 dot to double hyphen number 2 dot to double, and we are getting the error. Just press Alt Enter and call change to toString, and that's it. After the subtraction, the result will go back. So now if I say 4 and 3, the answer should be 4 minus 3 is 1. So we're getting 1.0. Similarly, you can simply just copy, paste, change this to multiply, change this to divide, slash, and now just change the operator. And we are good to go. You can handle case, you can handle validation, like user should not be able to enter a string here. So like for those things you can do. Now we have covered our HTML part where we are structuring the code, like creating a column first, and inside the column we are arranging our elements vertically. But I want to arrange this horizontally. What should I do? I should create a row to align my elements horizontally. So I'll say row, and inside this row I will cut paste my code. So button should be inside the row. All the buttons should be present inside the row. So I'll just move code upward. As you can see, now we have a proper row and Control Alt L to do the formatting. And now you can see I have this format ready. Now text should be outside the row, otherwise my result will show up here. I don't want that. And that's it. Now if you want to add some modifiers and create a proper screen, we just need to go inside the calculator screen, and inside the column I'll just add modifier. Modifier is equal to modifier.fillMaxSize. I want to consume the whole available screen of the device. So this is the screen device, and now it looks like this. I want to arrange it properly. let's say at the center of the screen. What should I do to arrange this element? I need to pass the alignment and arrangement. So for that, I'll say horizontal alignment. It should be center. So just center, the bold one. Alignment goes center horizontally. This one I should pick. And then arrangement, vertical arrangement. And then again, this should be center. Now wait for it. The bold one you should pick. Now wait for the UI to come, and that's it. And this is our calculator application. Now you can interact with it. Right now the screen is in dark mode, so that's not just mixed up something like this. Okay, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.